Hi everyone. So today on this episode of Make It Monday, we are going to do a full wrap water slide. I am prepping for our beach vacation and I wanted to make everybody a special cup to keep the drinks cold in the sand. So I decided to do a full wrap water slide with everyone's favorite liquor, drink, whatever going on it. So I've got about 8 of these to do and I figure why not make a tutorial out of it. So what you're going to need is a white tumbler. This is a 22 ounce fatty from Hog. It is perfectly cylindrical. You also could probably do this on the 20 ounce skinnies. I've never tried to wrap one of the cups that have like a tapered middle or whatever. So these work perfect for fabric. They work perfect for water slide wraps, some of the decal wraps, any kind of full surround graphic that I want to do. I only use cups that are perfectly around with no taper. What you will need is a Waterslide decal. So I use this. I'm going to put this one on. This one's for my son because he likes Red Bull and vodka. He is old enough to drink it, just so you know. So I use A4 size paper. In order for these wraps and these cups to work, they're about 11 inches by 7.375 is the size that I need to do. So an 8.5 by 11 piece of water slide will not give you enough length. So you have to get the A4, which is a little bit longer than a typical standard US sized piece of letter paper. So that's what I am using, and then I print my decal to that size, 11 by 7.375, and then I coat it with this. I use Krylon Color Max Clear Indoor Outdoor Gloss Crystal Clear Acrylic. It is non-yellowing. It dries in 10 minutes or less. It's for metal, wood, plastic, whatever. I do a coat horizontal, I do a coat vertical, I let it dry 5-10 minutes, I do a second coat vertical, horizontal, let it dry 5-10 minutes, and then do another third coat horizontal and vertical in order to get a good coverage on my decal. So you can see when I hold up my decal here in the light, it is reflecting. That is a nice gloss finish. So it's going to make your graphic much more durable when you're playing with it in water. Now I trim my decal out all the way, which I'm doing that now so you can see. I use my, if it's not perfect, it's okay, because this is, anything you see that's white is clear, but I don't want a ton of overhang. I do leave on the left hand side, I leave the extra. I like for it to overlap here. I just do. And I do. This one I probably won't have to, but if there was graphics overlaying where they meet each other, I would trim. But these should meet pretty perfect. We'll see. So I have a tub of water, and I'm going to back this up just a little bit so you can see it. So this is my tub. This is about 10 by 16. It's kind of shallow. It's actually a cupcake carrier. So I do cakes too. I have lots of pans and cakes, but this is my cupcake carrier. It's the perfect size. You need a container of water that is bigger than your piece of decal. So this is big. It has about 3/4 of an inch of tepid water in it. So to start, so I've got my decal. It's coated, it's dry, it's trimmed, it's ready. I've got my tub of water. I've got my cup on my turner. So I'm going to take my decal and I'm going to slide it into the water, and it is going to curl up. Immediately, it is going to curl. And I just sit and I run my fingers over it till I get it to lay flat without me having to hold it down. I like it to be flat. I don't want that curl in there. I want to make sure all the pieces, all the surface of it is under the water. Just kind of holding it down, let it stay flat. Because if it's not flat, it tries to curl up out of the water, and then not everything's getting wet. So I just push that down. And while that's soaking here, I get my tumbler nice and wet. I want this decal to slide around when I put it down, because I might need to move it and manipulate it and whatnot. And those are not my kids screaming outside, I apologize, but windows are open here because I was using some stinky stuff, and so you might hear my neighbor's grandkids screaming. All good, it's summertime. We all got kiddos, and they're always loud. Alright, so when I test my water slide, let's see if I can show you what I do here. So I take this, and I just kind of move my fingers on it and see if it slides. Right now it's not sliding yet. Right here in this corner I can feel it, but over here it's not. Okay, so now it's starting to move a little there. So I just take my fingers and I gently kind of pull. So you see how that moves off of there? Right there. I want to make sure it's loose all the way around. So now I can feel a little movement there. It's still pretty stuck in the middle here. And because you got that nice clear coat on there, you should be able to slide this bad boy around a little bit. But it's still pretty stuck in here through the middle. It's not quite ready yet. There it goes. So now it's loosening up. It really doesn't take long with water slide to do what you need to do to get it ready. But you want to make sure it's completely ready to come off this piece of paper before you try to put on your cup. Or you might rip it just because you're trying to force it and it's not ready. Okay, so as you can see, my whole decal's moving. It's ready. Alright, so let's switch back down there. I'm going to re-wet this because it kind of dried while I was chit-chatting. I'm going to start with my decal on this side. This blue of my graphic, I want to be right on the top edge of that. So I'm going to place it there. With my left hand, I'm holding this down and I'm pulling, just pulling a little bit. I need to kind of twist a little bit to make sure I'm laying it on straight. Okay. Now I'm going to turn on my turner. And I'm going to slide this bad boy on while my turner's on. Just adjusting it a little by little. Trying to keep that straight line there. Okay, so it obviously shifted a little bit as I was going around, but because I wet it down really good, see, I can just kind of tweak it and move it. And make sure that I get it exactly where I want it. So look, I mean, this is, it's darn near perfect. Darn near perfect there. I may come in here and I may trim that out to make it a perfect line. I may not, I'm not really sure. I haven't decided yet. But first then once I get it on there, and I take a damp baby cloth. Let me turn this back on here. And I'm just gonna start, and I'm really watching up here. I don't want any white showing at the top. So that looks good. It really does look really good. There's a little bit of clear, but that's okay. I'll get that all trimmed off when I put epoxy on this bad boy. And then down at the bottom, I'm just smoothing these edges down and over that little bitty curve. I have just enough in my template. And if you're part of my Facebook group, I'll go ahead and add the template I use for these full wraps for the 22-ounce fatties from Hog. I'll go ahead and add a template there for you guys. You guys can grab it and you can just drop your own graphics in it, but it'll give you the exact measurements I use on these cups. A little freebie we'll throw in the mix there if you want to give these a whirl. And you do want to make sure these edges are all smoothed down, because you don't want epoxy getting under them once you add the epoxy to it. And you want to push all that water out from underneath it, top and bottom. perfect on this edge. And this one I'll probably keep the bottom white. I'm doing 8 of these total. Only because it does tie in well with the design. Some of the other ones I'm going to paint the bottoms to match. They're not glitter cups, so I don't have any glitter going on, but... And that's it, really. I just smooth this out. I mean, look how fast that was. It's so easy. So the trick to the water slide, it really is about your coating on top. And then for these, it's using a cup that is perfectly cylindrical, because that taper, you can do it, but it's not nearly as simple and easy as wrapping the skinnies or wrapping these like the fat hogs. It doesn't have to be Hog brand, it's just what I use. They have a couple different sizes of cups that I like and styles, so I do use them, but I'm sure other vendors carry similar items. And that's it. I'm going to let it dry, and then we'll come back and add some epoxy. Okay, we're back with our water slide completely dry on the cup, all the way around. I'm going to leave the bottom white on this one because it does kind of tie into the design, because this is open white here and open white here. So I'm going to leave the bottom white, but I did decide to add a decal. We're going to be in Florida, so I think it's good to put names on them, make sure they don't, you know, disappear from the community pool or the beach. So I just cut my little decal. It's 1.75 inches out of round path, like text to round path. And let's see if it fits the way I hope it will. I want it to fit right in this space here, and it looks like it's gonna fit perfect. There's my decal. Fits perfectly in that little bottom little loopy there. I'm just gonna peel my... I had to do this part with you guys so I could gotta put the decals on before we put on the epoxy. I'm hoping these cups would need 1 coat versus 2, but most of the time I need 2. Glitter cups, sometimes 3. And of course my vinyl is giving me a fit here. There we go. I just want to make sure. You see the name, just perfect. So I've got my little vise in here for my turner, and I am just gonna turn this bad boy here. Get it nice and tight. That was a chore. Okay. So next we are going to add our epoxy, and if you've seen my epoxy method in the past and any of my other videos, you know that I like to warm up part A before mixing it with part B. So I am going to do that. I have a couple other cups to do here. So I'm going to mix up a bigger batch than I normally would, because I got 2 other cups behind us that we're going to go ahead and add epoxy to. So I'm going to do a full one of these measuring cups, which is like 32 mLs or something like that. But I want a big batch of epoxy, and the extra I actually make some little keychains and stuff with, which is going to be another tutorial coming soon to show you guys what I do with my extra epoxy. And I'm going to speed up this part of the video. Basically, you're going to see me warm up part A, then I'm going to grab a cup full of part B, mix it all together, stir it all in, and then we'll come back. There's no point of making you guys watch that long process. So I'm going to speed up the video here, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have my epoxy all mixed up from cloudy to clear. It's ready to go. So when I do my tumblers, my little bubble-free method, I start with a very thin layer of epoxy on the tumbler. So I want to prime the tumbler. Super thin layer. All right, I must have looked at here. That must not be on tight here. There we go. So just when it's super thin, I'm just priming the cup here. Don't forget the bottom. I must not have my vise tight inside the cup, but the problem is I can't tighten it now that it's on there, so I'm gonna have to just be gentle and make sure I got it level before I walk away. Okay, so once I get a thin layer on there, then I'm gonna take my little torch and I'm gonna torch this first coat. Get rid of any bubbles. Real quick. Okay. Need a new pair of gloves. I have mine all messed up here. So the next step, after I do that, I took a super thin kind of primer layer. I hit it with the torch. Then I flood coat with the next layer of epoxy. It's basically a two-step process, and then I hit it with the torch one last time after I get done putting that last coat on. So I'm gonna speed this up as well, just for the, try to keep these videos manageable here. And that's it. So I'm going to let this turn 8 to 10 hours overnight, and then come back. Straighten it out here, and we'll see how it looks. And there you have it. It is all done, dried, smooth. Looks pretty good. I ended up doing a bunch more of these. These are just 2 of the other ones I did. Actually did 12 because we got a nice crew going to the beach this time around. So everyone is getting their favorite drink on their bottle. So these were they're super easy. If you have a perfectly cylindrical container to put them on, I mean, you can do pretty much anything. A few others where I did the backgrounds in Photoshop, made it look kind of like whiskey, dropped the labels on. I mean, you really can't, I mean, it's not a huge, I mean, that's the seam in the back, which looks pretty nice. So, I mean, these are all really neat. So this water slide method, I mean, just the possibilities are endless, you know. Halloween scenes, Christmas scenes, photographs. This would be perfect for a full photograph wrap around around a cup. So I just wanted to get this quick tutorial done for you guys. And I guess remember that you need A4 paper to have enough size to do this. It won't work on 8.5 by 11 because you need at least 11 inches for the complete wrap. So I will put, if you are in my group on Facebook, I will put the file to the template for these 22 ounce fatty cups from Hog. And then once I do a 20 ounce skinny, I'll put that in there as well. So just a little freebie for you guys. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.